Hi everybody, I'm back with another video, and today's video I am going to be doing a book/movie review. On How I Live Now by Meg Russell. So in the book and the movie, we follow Elizabeth, aka Daisy. She hates her first name, so she changes it to Daisy, across the pond from New York to the UK to live with her cousins because of some issues she's having with her father and her stepmother and a new baby. Now, the movie kept some of the main themes really consistent with the book, which was great. However, they did change a lot of things from the book, namely with the characters and the way some of the things in the book went down. If that makes any sense at all. I'm going to put this down. Now, essentially what happens is Daisy moves to England to live with her cousins and her aunt. Well, her aunt works for this big peace organization or something like that, and she's trying to keep the peace. She's trying to keep World War III from breaking out, so she has to go to some sort of summit or meeting. In the book, it's in Oslo. In the movie, it is Geneva. So they kind of switch some locations there too. So Daisy is left in a new country with her cousins she doesn't really know, and basically they're all left to kind of fend for themselves. Now, in the book, Edmund and Isaac are twins. In the movie, Edmund is made to be the oldest of the kids, and Isaac is kind of the middle child. And then we also have Piper, who is the youngest. Piper forms kind of an attachment. She forms an attachment to Daisy, and kind of sticks by her side through the entire story and through the entire movie as well. These kids are left to their own devices. They're taking care of themselves. A romance is blossoming between Daisy and Edmund. You didn't hear that wrong. Incest. And then World War III breaks out. And everything kind of goes to pot. Now, in the book, they're visited by two people before they are sent their separate ways. In the movie, they're only visited by one person. But what essentially happens is they're taking care of themselves. They've moved out to this this barn behind the house that's a little ways away they're trying to keep hidden so they won't have to evacuate. But what ends up happening is they're found, and the boys are sent to Gatesfield and the girls are sent to, I don't remember the place what they're called, but they're sent to live with a woman whose name is Mrs. McAvoy. Her husband is a major, I think, in the army, and he's away, her son's away, and she didn't think that having that extra room would go to use just being empty, so she took in Daisy and Piper. Now, Daisy and Piper are put to work in the movie, in the digging up potatoes. In the book, they're picking apples, but that's a minor change. Until one day there's an incident at the checkpoint, and they are forced to basically leave this new home of theirs. And the rest of the book follows Piper and Daisy's journey from this place, this new place that they've been staying that was supposed to be their safe place, back home to just back home. Now, throughout this, Daisy feels a connection with Edmund. She feels that he's alive, like he's speaking to her, like he's basically instructing her to come back home. And so that was kind of a little weird. Like there's a psychic connection there. But eventually they make it back. Everybody makes it back in the book. Not everybody makes it back in the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but not everybody makes it back in the movie. and the endings are completely different. In the end of the book, you end up seeing Daisy later on in life. In the end of the movie, it ends where she is. It ends when she's like 16 or something like that, I believe. 15? Something like that. But the endings were really, really changed. However, with all of the changes they did make, which there were a lot of changes. They changed personalities, they changed, locations, they changed what happened to certain people. They took out a character, they put in a character. There were just a lot of minuscule changes. However, between the book and the movie, the book was okay. It was alright. I liked it well enough. It kept me somewhat interested. It was short. It was easy to read, to get through. I just didn't feel for the characters that much in it. I don't know why. I didn't. So I think I gave it about a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. Because it was good. It was a good, solid read. But it just didn't pull me in. And it didn't intrigue me. Now, the movie, on the other hand, I was very impressed with the movie. Just some of the landscape shots that they did, the acting in it was very, very believable. I felt more for the characters watching them than reading about them. And a lot of times with me, that does not happen. I did like some of the changes that they made, which is weird as well, because like I said, a lot of the little changes, they irk me. But there are some things that they changed that made it more believable. Like Daisy and Piper, when they're running away from the McAvoys, when they're trying to get back to the house. Not really a lot happens in the book on that journey. And you would think that they're walking for days and days, that something is going to happen. This is a war-ridden country. They're not just going to make it from point A to point B without running into anybody or anything at all. In the movie, Daisy is forced to do something that didn't happen in the book, but it made that part of the story more believable. So if you're going to go for either one of these, I know this was a jumbled mess. I will get better at these as the days go along, as the months go along. My recommendation is, if you're going to watch or read either one of these, I would watch the movie over reading the book. Because the book, I feel like there's something missing. And I didn't really like the way the book was written either. It's written basically as a stream of consciousness. And it just, I don't know if it didn't set well with me. I had to put the book down a few times. And it's only like 194 pages or so, or something like that. And I shouldn't have had to put the book down. But I did. The movie was seamless. It was an all-around great film. It just wasn't a good book-to-movie adaptation, if that makes any sense at all. So my recommendation is to watch How I Live Now. Don't worry about actually reading the book, because the source material doesn't even give you anything really for the movie. If you guys have comments, questions, leave them down below. I know this was a jumbled mess. I'm sorry. Like I said, I will get better. I'll leave all my social media below. And I guess I will see you guys with my next video.